Yo, welcome back to another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet VGC video. I'm your host, Jose Rocks. Today we have another episode of Journey Through VGC. The current format we in is Regulation D. Y'all ready? Let's get into it. Alright y'all, so here we are. So again, this is gonna be the team that I just made in the previous video, where we pretty much broke down the team that won Worlds, and we used the same Pokemon, but we switched up all the sets. And when I say that this team is absolutely incredible, that is maybe an understatement for how good this team is. I hope that you all enjoy, the videos that I'm gonna be putting out with this team, and that you can see how strong it is and how it gives you so many chances to win games, and how it can make your opponent, it can punish your opponent for having knowledge of the 6 Pokemon by thinking it's the team that won Worlds. So we want to start off with the first set. So the first set is going to be Assault Vest Landorus, right? And I'm going to do a compare and contrast. Not really a compare, but just a side-by-side of each Pokemon with the sets that I changed it from. So the original Landorus set is going to be Stumping Tantrum, Terra Blast, U-Turn, and Protect. This Landorus is with Choice Scarf. This Landorus retains the Flying Terror, but instead of the Protect, we have Rock Slide and we have Assault Vest instead of Safety Goggles. The Assault Vest was really good for the extra bulk that they're not expecting on Landorus to have on the special side, and also it being a little bit slower but bulkier than what they might have expected the Landorus from the team that won Worlds to be, right? Like I said, I kept the Terror the same. The same with Urshifu. So the Urshifu Terra is the same as the original. So there's some noticeable differences. First off, the item we chose is Safety Goggles. So instead of having the Safety Goggles on Landorus, we wanted it on Urshifu. And the reason behind this was that I wanted to go with the Sword Stance Urshifu set, right? And the reason this is really good on this team is because when they see this team, they expect Urshifu to be the taunt variant, right? And not be able to boost its attack damage. So a lot of times they will play around you trying to taunt their Amoonguss or one of their Trick 'em users or something like that, and they may switch out or just use it as a turn to attack, or make another passive play because you're going for taunt, right? Maybe a Protect, and now instead of wasting taunt, you're actually Swords Dancing, and with the safety goggles, you can still ignore Amoonguss, right? You don't have to taunt it, and now you can go for like big damage with your Urshifu next to Chien-Pao, right? Or Urshifu next to Redirection from Amoonguss, and you can't they can't protect in front of you, which is just really good. It's up for grabs which set is better, but I did think that instead of the Mystic Water and the taunt, that the Swords Dance plus the Safety Goggles was a set to change it around, just to kind of catch my opponents off guard that are expecting it to be the taunt variant, right? And then also, of course, it has Detect over Protect, which is not really that big of a difference, but if you hadn't revealed any of your sets on this team and they're looking at the team sheet from the team that won Worlds, and you haven't done anything that makes it obvious it's not the same team, going for a Detect turn 1 can alert them because Urshifu is usually carrying Protect. So just keep that in mind. The second set, and I think this might be the biggest change on the team, this change was the most drastic as far as completely winning the game turn 1, right? And this is what you do in front of these hyper offense tailwind teams. What really punishes them is this Flutter Mane, right? Because they're expecting Flutter Mane to be Choice Specs with Grass Terror, Shadow Ball, Dazzling Gleam, Moonblast, and Energy Ball, and unable to protect or set up Trick Room, right? So you leading with Iron Hands or Amoonguss, or just threatening offense with Chien-Pao, they're gonna want to tailwind in front of Flutter Mane because they believe that you're Choice Specs. Setting up a Trick Room on a turn that they tailwind can immediately win you games. I cannot understate, how powerful of a strategy that is, just having that. Now this Flutter Mane, it does have a noticeable difference in the damage that it does. It does nowhere near as much damage as Choice Specs Flutter Mane does, but as far as helping you control the game, it's very valuable. It's super valuable. I feel like it was the biggest change to this team. And all it is putting a Focus Sash on Flutter Mane instead of the Choice Specs, and adding Trick Room and Protect, right? Instead of the Energy Ball and Moonblast. But like I said, also Flutter Mane being able to protect turn 1 when they think that they might have you pinned on a lead, and you can like they try to double up into Flutter Mane because they know it can't protect. It's also really good. Chien-Pao. So next Chien-Pao. So Chien-Pao, one thing that can hinder you is that it's not Sash. But another thing that can help you is that your opponent may have times where they want to double Chien-Pao because they know that it's Sash and you're not Sash, right? So with you not being Sash and actually being Adamant with Life Orb, you do a lot more damage than what they're expecting you to do. And the Poison Terror, this is a set that I got from, I believe his name was Hirofumi, that won the Japanese Invitational. This is the Chien-Pao set that he used, right? And I kind of just took it and I wanted to put it on, you know, the team that won Worlds. Kind of like it's like a blend, like just a good set, but on the World's winning team. So the moves are all the same as far as protect. Like I said, the only difference is that you have Poison Terror, so that gives you a Terror that's different from the Ghost Terror, when they might be expecting you to go Ghost and maybe like go for a Shadow Ball, like a read into that, or you know they go into you with a Dark type attack expecting you to go Terror Ghost. Then the Poison is good there. The Poison is also good for being able to soak up like fairy type damage and fighting type damage, which are both good ways of hitting Chien-Pao, and now you resist both of those, right? And just being able to get off a Life Orb, Icicle Crash, or Sacred Sword is just really powerful. The more attacks that Chien-Pao gets off, you know, the more that you're gonna win because of how powerful this Pokemon is, right? The Life Orb Adamant set is just, it does so much damage to everything. Like Sucker Punch just removes everything from like 50%. If they resist it and they're about 30%, still KOs them, right? It's so powerful. All right, the next set is going to be Amoonguss. So the difference between this Amoonguss is I did retain the Water Terror, which is one of the 3 Terror types that I retained from the original team, but it has Rocky Helmet instead of Sitrus Berry. So the Rocky Helmet is another tech that a lot of people are expecting you to be the Sitrus Berry, which is kind of coming and making a comeback for Amoonguss. And they're not expecting you to be able to deal damage back to them without attacking, right, with the Rocky Helmet. So they may be like, okay, well, you might resist Surging Strikes, but I still want to go for it just to deal some damage into your Amoonguss and chip it. But now they're getting chipped by their with their own Urshifu, right, which is pretty powerful. The other thing that makes this Amoonguss stand out is instead of Protect, you have Leaf Storm. So now, you know, if you have the mirror match where you're going against the actual world team and they try to taunt your Amoonguss, they may think, or they like have Dondozo, they may think that Amoonguss is kind of stuck out because it doesn't have anything to really hit it, Urshifu, and now you can just one-shot Urshifu with a Leaf Storm, right, which is really clutch. You can remove Gastrodon, you can do about, you know, 40% to Dondozo, maybe 50% depending on how especially bulky it is, and you don't get your special attack dropped against Dondozo because they're usually oblivious, right? Not oblivious, unaware, which makes it so you can continue to click Leaf Storm without the special attack drops. So that's really good. And this Amoonguss set actually has a lot of offensive potency that they're not expecting, right? So that makes it pretty good. And last but not least is Iron Hands. So the original team had a Water Terror Iron Hands with Assault Vest and Volt Switch instead of the Detect. So this Iron Hands, literally, I was in a practice game and I was playing very well against a mirror team. They were also using the world's winning team, but they were using the original with the rental code. And they went for a play where I terrored in the grass, and they were I know they were surprised to see me terror in the grass, but they thought that I was Assault Vest and I'm Sitrus Berry, right? So with their Chien-Pao, they doubled into the Chien-Pao. They doubled into my Iron Hand slot, right? And they wanted to pick up a KO, and I was next to Amoonguss. But they knew that if I redirect, then the Icicle Crash is going to go into Amoonguss. But if I don't, they knew they wouldn't be getting put to sleep that turn, right? So what I did was I detected. So they thought that they had a free KO on my Iron Hands, which was about 60%, 60, 70%, which with me being Grass Terror, Chien-Pao would definitely pick up that KO. But I detected. And so they attack failed, and they actually doubled that slot with their it was another Pokemon that it was Flutter Mane. It was a Dazzling Gleam. So they went for Dazzling Gleam plus Icicle Crash to try to pick up the KO on my Iron Hands. And I simply just put his Chien-Pao to sleep, and it couldn't move the next turn, right? And he had already blew his Terror on Flutter Mane, so I was able to just Drain Punch the Chien-Pao, and then my opponent just Rage Quit from there. So that just shows you just how good like having Detect on Iron Hands, because Iron Hands is one of those Pokemon that is so commonly used to carrying Assault Vest that your opponent knows how threatening Iron Hands can be to his team, so they kind of double up into it to try to remove it, because they know that they can't protect, and they know that if you switch it out, that even what comes in is going to take at least like 50% from like a double up from any combination of attacks, depending on unless it resists both, right? So, or has an immunity to one of the attacks that you're using. So that just having that made Iron Hands really good. And the only downside is that you're not as good against special attackers as you would like, because you don't have the assault vest. But you just have to kind of play around that, right, and use your Amoonguss and your Landorus and your Chien-Pao to kind of remove those special attackers, so that Iron Hands is not as threatened. But the benefit from this is, like I said, that you have Detect, which they're not expecting. We also are Grass Terror, so we're immune. We still take less damage from certain strikes, and we're immune to Spore from Amoonguss, and we don't get redirected. And also the Iron Hands, the Sitrus Berry. Now the Sitrus Berry makes Iron Hands a lot better against physical attackers. And why? Because you have so much more longevity that they can continue to chip you, and with Drain Punch and Sitrus Berry, you pretty much are always beating like the physical type attackers that don't hit you for super effective if you are both trading like neutrally. Like the Rillaboom matchup, like if you still have your Tera, like you just absolutely wall Rillaboom with a Grass Tera. Like it can go for U-turn, but you have Sitrus Berry and Drain Punch, right? So it's never winning that 1v1. And if you don't Tera, you can still stall out the grassy terrain with Detect and Drain Punch and your Sitrus Berry, and even if it hits you, Woodhammer does about 40-50%. Well, it never does 50, it does about 40, because I do have a lot of physical defense investment. Then you're always winning, that 1v1. And if they do have like a max attack Rillaboom and it is able to do over 50, then your Sitrus Berry is going to heal you back, and then plus the grassy terrain and Drain Punch, you're able to outlive the Rillaboom. Plus they're taking a lot of recoil damage from Woodhammer and Drain Punch damage, so you always win that 1v1 against that. But that's gonna be pretty much it for a breakdown of this team. I did want to, like I said, go and discuss like what their differences are. And if you like this concept of me remixing like popular teams and disguising it as a team that's really good, but like changing the sets and making it good on like the rank ladder, then let me know. I can do more of these. But enjoy the videos. There is a rental code up at the top right, as well as a PokePaste down in the description below. And let me know, with a comment below. If, like I said, if you like this, drop a like for me. Subscribe, turn on post notifications, because I am posting content every single day. But let's get into these battles. All right. So we have Rillaboom, Urshifu, Iron Hands, Chien-Pao, Gholdengo, and Tornadus. So he does have Iron Hands to help him play on the trick room, right? I think I should bring Landorus here. Kind of want to go Flutter Mane, Iron Hands. I don't want to bring Amoonguss because, like, Tera Grass on Iron Hands, Gholdengo, Rillaboom, and Taunt on. Although Leaf Storm is good into one-shotting Urshifu for me, which he probably won't expect. I think I want to play with the slow core, so I'll go like this. I think Leaf Storm from Amoonguss is valuable into shutting down the Urshifu, because I can just remove it, and a lot of times they're just gonna taunt or try to like wall me out. But my Amoonguss, has some form of offense, so it's not just stuck out there. So Gholdengo plus Tornadus. Alright, and if they're expecting this to be the team that won Worlds, they would know that I don't have Protect. So Tailwind, Make It Rain is safe here, right? On his hand. So I can Trick Room and Wild Charge Tornadus. Oh, so he switches. What's coming in? Is it his own Iron Hands? Rillaboom, okay. Chilling Water. Interesting. Rocky Helmet. That's cool tech. I brought Landorus to pressure the Rillaboom, so that's what I need to use it for here. So I'm gonna switch out into Amoonguss on this slot, and then double out. Should I double out here? He does have fake out pressure. Yeah, I think I'll double out. Intimidate on the Rillaboom is good. Then I can U-turn into it. I don't have to tear it just yet. Alright, so we bring our Landorus in. Get the Intimidate there. I wish he would have went for Tailwind and make it rain, but he probably would have lost the game immediately if he done that, right? Oh, he would have been in a really bad spot. There's Goggle. Nice. Alright, Wood Hammer. Okay. So we can't spore anything, right? Goggle can probably feel like it can nasty plot here. So what I'm gonna go for is Leaf Storm plus Stumping Tantrum. That covers for a switch. I mean, that covers for a Tera. And I'm Assault Vest, so even if he specs, but I expect a Tera plus Nasty Plot here, right? Because Goggle probably feels like it's safe with a Water Tera. Oh, he doesn't tear it. Okay, so we do about maybe 15%. Alright, so he U-turns into me. So now we reveal Leaf Storm on Amoonguss though. Urshifu. Ah. But I have revealed Leaf Storm. He's tricking the item onto us. Choice specs, Rocky Helmet. And we just get the one hit KO on Goggle. That is huge. Oh, he took my Rocky Helmet. I was like, how does he have more than one Pokemon Rocky Helmet? But he took my Rocky Helmet. But we are choice specs on Amoonguss, right? So our Leaf Storms are hitting pretty hard. And our Polypuffs are gonna hit pretty hard. Alright, so he has a free surge and strikes into my slot. I think I just Leaf Storm Urshifu. Switch out into hands. I think my Landorus is really good into his Rillaboom. He can have hands. He still has Tailwind though, but Choice Specs Amoonguss, if I can switch it back out and get back in and click Pollen Puff, is, you know, still pretty strong. Yeah, I may be able to switch out Amoonguss back into Landorus. Right, I don't want to take just a free Surging Strikes there in case he fakes me out. He fakes out Amoonguss though. He's Choice Scarf, okay? Alright, so it's like I'm wild charging that slot. Cause you switch out back into Urshifu, then I'm in a good spot. Last turn of Trick Room. He may Tailwind here, right? But I mean, he's Choice Scarf from Urshifu, so I don't think it matters. But I think Amoonguss is really good here, so I want to switch out into Landorus, get the Intimidate on Rillaboom, so it sticks, and go for Wild Charge. I want to Tornadus. And I could grass Tera here. That makes Iron Hands like really get into Rillaboom plus Urshifu. Oh, he just sets up Rain Dance, so I guess he's just gonna use his Choice Scarf to outspeed everything. Yeah, but Amoonguss just beats Urshifu 1v1 with a Leaf Storm, Choice Specs Leaf Storm. So now we just gotta remove Rillaboom. There's my Berry. This team is so cool, man. I feel so strong. Alright, there's Woodhammer. There's Urshifu. Amoonguss here is pretty obvious, but hard for him to deal with that, right? I do think I want a Tera here to survive Woodhammer. Would he double up Iron Hands? Yeah, I want to go for this play because if he doesn't double up Iron Hands, I can like potentially pick up a KO on Urshifu. Then I can just click Choice Specs Pollen Puff in the Rillaboom. Alright, there's his Tera. Alright, it's Water Tera. With him going Water Tera, I don't know if that's going to be into the Amoonguss slot. But now I could Rage Powder. I probably should have saved my Tera for Landorus then if I'm going to Rage Powder. Because then I can just go for Tera Blast into Rillaboom. Yeah, I might have misplayed here. Unless he goes into Amoonguss. Yeah, he's going to nice spot. Okay, I may survive. Oh, no, we don't survive. Yeah, that was a misplay on my part. But I could go in a Flutter Mane and Choice Specs. Okay, yeah. So I'm just gonna Choice Specs. So he knew I was switching out there. So I'm just gonna Choice Specs Leaf Storm and Urshifu. As long as we hit, I think we win the game because Landorus beats Rillaboom. Plus another Intimidate. Yeah, my misplay there was not saving my Tera for Landorus, but I don't think it matters, honestly, since he taunted that slot. I was never going to be able to go for the Rage Powders. As long as we hit Leaf Storm here, I think we're good. Yes. That's the KO. Nice. Choice Specs, a Leaf Storm Amoonguss picks up the one-hit KO on Urshifu. Beautiful. Now we're locked in a Leaf Storm, but I think it's fine. Because I don't think Rillaboom with the double Intimidate. I think he's -2, maybe -3. I think it's -2 though. As long as he doesn't get a Woodhammer crit, I think we're good. Yeah, he's -2. So go for a Leaf Storm here. And U-turn. Alright, another one should KO. Oh, he has a Berry, okay. It's getting pretty scary because we could lose to a crit. Alright, nice. Take some chip. Leaf Storm chip here. Choice Spec, still doing a little bit. Does a little bit. Pollen Puff here would be beautiful. But we had to knock out the Urshifu, right? And my opponent's cancels. Nice. So we get our first win. This team is so strong, man. Even though it's the same 6 Pokemon that won Worlds, like just this 6, like I feel like you could put any sets on this 6 and it's just really good. Like this is a strong 6 Pokemon. It kind of reminds me of like, you know how strong the Ring Your Sun was back in Sword and Shield. It's just really strong and you can like manipulate the sets and still have success with it. But enough about that battle. Let's get into the next one. All right, so we have Wo-Chin's on this team. So he has a pretty bulky team with Wo-Chin and Landorus. So that makes it tough for my physical attacker like Iron Hands, right? Then he has Thundurus, Heatran, Flutter Mane, and Urshifu. So my opponent's team indexes on damage reduction. I'm pretty sure that the Thundurus has Eerie Impulse, which will completely shut down Flutter Mane, right? And he has Intimidate plus Wo-Chin to shut down Iron Hands. He can't really shut down Urshifu, but he has Wo-Chin, right? Which is pretty good into that. I think if we remove Thundurus, that paves the way for Flutter Mane. I kind of want to bring the top 4. Tera Grass on Heatran, Taunt on Thundurus, and Wo-Chin. Amoonguss is only good here for the Urshifu. And Iron Hands just doesn't have the damage. So I think I want to go Urshifu Chien-Pao. Actually, Urshifu Landorus. Chien-Pao Flutter Mane. Yeah, we'll go with that. It actually could look like I timed out too. So he made it look like I timed out, so he may know my 4. All right. You want to go for Rock Slide here, turn 1. And Detect. Get some chip off. We don't have good switch ins here. Just want to scout for what his Flutter Mane wants to do. It's just Thunder Wave, okay? Could have Flying Tera and just wiped out his Flutter Mane. And just Gleam. But I'm happy to do some chip here to both. Alright, so that did about... I wonder if Flutter Mane's in Aqua Jet range. I think it is actually. So I'm gonna go for Tera, Aqua Jet, switch in Chien-Pao. Oh, that's a good switch. Ah, he got me. They switching his Urshifu, okay. Did he go for Wimbo Storm here? Because if he did, that'd be an incredible play. Well played by my opponent. Because next turn I was going to pressure his Thundurus. If he goes for a Wimbo Storm here, he's in a really good spot. He's not going for Thunder Wave, it's a Wimbo. That's a good play by my opponent. He misses though. He missed the Urshifu. Alright. He cannot protect in front of Urshifu, so... I think I just want to Swords Dance here. He could switch out in the Heatran if he has it. Amoonguss. I definitely needed Amoonguss here as a defensive switch in. Oh, he's tearing something. Is it tornado? Any thunders? Yeah, he is. Ooh, water terror. I think I need a flinch here to stay in the game. Ooh, so close. Yeah, I need a flinch here. That's probably game. Can we get a flinch? Oh, he misses though. Okay. Whew. I moved before his Urshifu, so he's not Choice Scar. So that means Flutter Mane outspeed his Urshifu. Could go for Thunder Wave here though. Yeah. I can't get around Thunder Wave, can I? I just Surgeon Strikes his Urshifu. If he doesn't go for Thunder Wave, if he misses Thunder Wave, I'm in a good spot. But if he's going for Thunder Wave, then he's not targeting Urshifu, then I can just Aqua Jet it next turn. Oh, you detect in front of Urshifu? Okay. He went for Thunder Wave, and that's fine. I'm actually gonna go for Trick Room next turn. Yeah, I can't. He's not close enough for Aqua Jet KO either. Thundurus is down though. Thundurus was a huge problem for my team. Even though my Landorus walls it. A Trick Room would have been really good right there. Alright, there's his Flutter Mane. Yeah, Aqua Jet should get that, right? I could potentially pick up a double KO here. If he doesn't, yeah, I think I should just take out the Flutter Mane. Dazzling. There's no point in Trick Room if I can take out his Urshifu, right? I gotta see what his last is. I think it may be Heat Train. The thing is, I wanted to take out his Urshifu because of I don't know if Aqua Jet KOs. And he might have Heat Train with... Oh, he already Terra it though, so it doesn't matter. He can't Terra Grass. I think it should be Heat Train in the back. Oh, it's his own Landorus. Oh, yeah, Aqua Jet's definitely not KOing, man. Well, I am +1. Does Water Terror Aqua Jet get it there? It didn't with the Chien-Pao defense drop. I don't think it gets it. So I just go for the KO on Landorus. And I just try to get off of stomping. Oh, he cancels. What? I don't think it was over there unless he just knows that my Urshifu outspeeds his Landorus and then he can't beat my Urshifu with his. because I intimidated him, so his close combat's doing less. I still think he had a chance there though. Cause he if I move first before his Landorus, take out his Landorus, he takes out my Landorus. His Urshifu was faster than mine, right? So he could have got like a crit close combat, and that could have won him the game. But Swords and Urshifu was amazing there. Like, you know, I don't think the game was over there. I mean, we were kind of at a stalemate, and it just depends on, you know, how if his Landorus was Choice Scarf and got off a Choice Scarf Rock Slide, you know, or the Stumping Tantrum damage was enough to put me in close combat range. But I don't think the battle was over there. But my opponent, I guess he didn't feel like he had it out. Or maybe his Landorus was just, you know, he knew it was pretty slow. But let's go ahead and get into the next one. This team is so good, man. I love it. Alright, Flutter Mane, Tornadus, Urshifu, Chi-Yu, Heatran, and Rillaboom. So this most likely is... This Tornadus may actually, unless it's Dark Urshifu, this Tornadus may actually have Sunny Day and Rain Dance. Sunny Day seems pretty good into my team though. I believe I need to get Trick Room up and beat my opponent on the Trick Room. I don't want to leave Chien-Pao though. I think Urshifu with the Sun Up is kind of like, the value's not as good, so I'll go with Chien-Pao. Yeah, because Chien-Pao being adamant on the Trick Room, like my Sucker Punches and Sacred Sword and Icicle Crash, I just hit a lot of his team for good damage. I think Urshifu's kind of walled under Sun without getting Swords Dance up. And then his team is pretty offensive, so there's not a lot of chances to get Swords Dance up with Flutter Mane and Rillaboom. Alright, so it's Heatran. Alright, so it's a pretty easy Trick Room, right? If he tells me he's in a really bad spot. And like I say, if they expect this team to be the team that won Worlds, the same rental code, it should be like a Tailwind plus like Heat Wave, right? Oh, Sunny Day. Yeah, so there's Sunny Day. My Flutter Mane's even faster. Alright, does he have a switch in? This Heatran looks really good here. He does have Rillaboom switch in. He definitely probably should have put in a Rillaboom. I think I want to double Heatran. Because Heat Wave looks strong here, right? Oh, he just leaves it in. Okay. Burn. As long as it's not on Iron Hands, that's fine. He misses Bleak Wind. He doesn't miss the Flutter Mane. Oh, we survived though. Perfect, and we get a free switch in. And we KO Heatran. So this is actually pretty good. Heatran goes down. Flutter Mane goes down. But Flutter Mane's too fast and Trick Room, so we did our job. And we stopped Tailwind from going up. So I'm gonna bring in Landorus here. If it's Rillaboom, now we can threaten it. Urshifu. Oh, Dark Urshifu. Okay. Kind of want to Tera Blast him. Drain Punch into him looks so obvious. He has his Tera, right? They're usually poison if he has a defensive Tera. He could protect. I think I just want a Stomping. Drain Punch. That covers for a Tera. Yeah, so he is going for a Tera. So that means he's not protecting it. Stomping covers for a poison. Yes, okay. So Drain Punch gives me a little bit of health back, and then Stomping should KO it. Decent chip. Stomping super effective. Should be able to KO from that range. Can we get the KO? Yes, nice. Let's go, Landorus. Yeah, so I don't think that Tera Blast would have got the KO there. He might have survived with a sliver, but Stomping Tantrum being doubled to 150 because it's super effective. It's pretty clutch. And we dodge another Bleak one. And we get our little Sitrus Berry recovery here. And my opponent has no more Tera. Trick Room is almost over, so we need to KO Tornadus here. And that way my Chien-Pao can have success. I think it's Rillaboom. Should be his last. Oh, it's Flutter Mane. Interesting. So we save our Tera for Chien-Pao because it's poison. That way we win the 1v1 against Flutter Mane. I'll go for a Stomping here. And then Wild Charge. No need to go for Rock Slide. Rock Slide will cover for a Focus Sash. But we don't want to miss. But my opponent just cancels. And we get our third win. This team is incredible. And that's the thing, man. Like being able to set up. And my opponent, he might still have thought this was the team that won Worlds. Because what I led, he didn't really feel the need to have to set up Tailwind. Because Flutter Mane really can't one-shot Heatran, right? And he probably thought I might go for like a fake out with Iron Hands. So he didn't really feel the need to Tailwind right there in front of that. So, but the fact that, you know, we was able to beat him with Trick Room, like I don't think he was anticipating Trick Room, right? So we did pretty well. Flutter Mane surviving with the Smidget from the Bleak win was completely clutch because being able to knock out Heatran before it got another move off and we didn't have to target it with Iron Hands was just incredibly huge. And also getting that read right with the Urshifu switch in. So that was perfect for us. That put us in a really good spot. But all right, let's get into, you know, we'll probably do 1 or 2 more matches, but we'll see. Let's get into the next one. All right, final match of the day. We have Azumarill, Rillaboom, Gholdengo, Volcarona, plus Tornadus and Chien-Pao. So my opponent has, you know, a really different balance core with the Azumarill, Rillaboom, and Volcarona. It's pretty unique, actually. So I think Gholdengo plus Tornadus looks good into my team. But if he doesn't set up Trick Room, then he can bring a Azumarill in, right? Would it be Sap Sipper? Like he could literally have safety goggles on Volcarona, Gholdengo, Rillaboom, and on Tornadus. Like my Amoonguss just looks really tough for it here. But it does do well into the Azumarill with Rage Powder plus Leaf Storm. I think he leads Gholdengo plus Tornadus though, so I want to go this. I think the Sucker Punch is good here. And I'll go Amoonguss. I think we'll leave Landorus and Urshifu. Landorus is really good into the Rillaboom. It is. But my last opponent didn't even bring Rillaboom, right? The Azumarill here is the problem, though. I know Amoonguss looks bad here, but I think just the Leaf Storm into Azumarill is good. He leads Azumarill, too. Okay. think he fakes out Iron Hands and play roughs that slot. I think I want to protect, switch out into Amoonguss, and then Leaf Storm Azumarill while we set up Trick Room. Or maybe not, because I'm gonna be moving last in the bracket, so they can double up into Flutter Mane. Yeah, fake out there, Rocky Helmet Chip, and then play rough. Oh, liquidation Flutter Mane. Okay. Azumarill could consider a Tera here. Would it be Grass Tera? He should never Tera here if it's not Grass Tera then, right? I think I want to just try to knock it out. If he doesn't Tera here, I think we're in a really good spot. We may lose Flutter Mane, but I think it's okay based off the way he led. He switches Azumarill. That could have been a Spore, but it may be Gholdengo, right? Oh, it's Volcarona. Oh, now we just... That's not... I'll probably do too much. Yeah. Volcarona's scary because I don't have Urshifu. So he brought his Balance Core. Maybe safety goggles? Kind of just lose to Volcarona if it's safe. If it's not, I think I need to go for a Tera here. Spore. I think I need a Landorus here, because I don't really have a good way around Volcarona without Urshifu. Yeah, the balance is really strong, and the way he switched in Volcarona there, I'm pretty sure that he has safety goggles. I didn't even need a Tera there. Would hammer into that slot. Oh, he's not. Safety goggles though. I think I just let him KO Amoonguss here, right? Can't switch in Iron Hands here. If he leaves Amoonguss on the field though, he's smart. Okay. Alright, so Dazzling. I need to get Volcarona to stay asleep though. So I'll Dazzling here plus Wild Charge Volcarona. Yeah, Volcarona's scary here, but if we get the sleep rolls right, then we may be able to get rid of it before it can do much. Yeah, Landorus would have been incredible here. Like Sport or Volcarona, switch out into Landorus and not Tera. Oh, I didn't mean a Shadow Ball. I mean, I guess it's fine. The chip wouldn't have done much on Volcarona anyway. Stay asleep. All right, I think I need one more turn of sleep from it. And my Flutter Mane's still faster than me. Whew, they did a lot. Nice Iron Hands. It's Berry, of course. Another wild charge will KO that. But will my opponent let me get that off is the question. Depends on what his last is, because I don't think a Zumaro comes in here. It does come in here. Okay. So I'll go for Gleam. And then Wild Charge Volcarona, because it's the threat right now. He doesn't tear it. If it doesn't wake up here, we good. Come on, can we get that last turn of sleep? Our Amoonguss didn't go down for nothing. Yes, let's go. Amoonguss coming through. Let's go. We removed Volcarona. Woo! Found a way through it, man. And we still have our Sitrus Berry too. And now Zumaro just protected, so we can double that slot. What's my opponent's last one? It's Chien-Pao, okay? So we can easily Gleam here. He could double up the Flutter Mane, right? Actually, I think I want to protect. Because a Circuit Punch Aqua Jet will put me in KO range, right? Is it worth protecting here? Because he could double the Iron Hands too. I think because I got Chien-Pao in the back, it's okay to protect Flutter Mane here. There's his Terror. I wonder if it's Chien-Pao into Ghost. Okay, so Zumaro's getting knocked out here. Yep. Now it depends on who did he target. Would he really ignore Flutter Mane? Would he really ignore Flutter Mane? Yes, let's go. Unless he just missed. Oh yeah, okay. Nice. A Zumaro shouldn't be able to kill Iron Hands, and we may just be faster. Yep, so it probably don't even get to move. Yep, nice. And we still have our Sitrus Berry. And now we can Shadow Ball. Pretty much win right here, right? Shadow Ball, Chien-Pao, Wild Charge. We got Focus Sash attack still. The protect on the Flutter Mane is so good for this team. I'm telling you. Let's go. Another council. Let's go. This team is so good. I'm so proud of it. And so this is a team that we made in our remix video. And I'm glad that I, got the chance to showcase, how strong taking a team that's in the meta and remixing it will be. So we're going to get into a little quick review for this team. Well, a quick review for our first video. We will be making a second video with this team. And as you know, the formula I like to use is I do a team breakdown for the first video, as well as a halfway preview, a halfway breakdown of the team, and then we also have a review at the very end of both videos. So let's get into our midway review right now. All right, getting into our first review. This team is absolutely incredible. I can't understate enough how having the Trick Room and Protect on the Flutter Mane instead of it being choice specs is so good for this team. And the strength of this team, I do feel like it is because of the strength of this team originally is open team sheet. So this is the team that won Worlds, right? So the strength of this team is open team sheet. So for the original version of this team. So that means with this team being so good open team sheet, that when you have it on ladder with a clones team sheet and you have the Pokemon look exactly like how the rental code looks for the original team that won Worlds, that makes this team on closed team sheet so good. Because like I said, in the intro, your opponent's index, the best knowledge that they have on a team. Pokemon is a knowledge game, right? So as much information that they have on your team makes them, kind of dictates how they're gonna play the game. And them, you know, pulling up a rental code, thinking that this is the rental team, and expecting different sets, and everything being completely overturned and completely different, you know, just makes it makes this team that much stronger. And like I said, just setting up Trick Room, and when your opponent has Tailwind and the Tornadus teams with the Iron Hands and Landorus mode, and the Chien-Pao being Adamant, and so it underspeeds like the other Chien-Paos, is just, it's so good. And Urshifu being bulky with not that much speed investment and being able to play on the Trick Room, like this team doesn't look like a Trick Room team, but what it thrives in is playing on the Trick Room against hyper offense teams, and then being bulky enough to play outside of Trick Room against Trick Room teams that actually want to play towards that. And like I said, like the Flutter Mane set, I feel like was the MVP. The Chien-Pao does so much damage that you're not expecting, and the Urshifu, you know, the Swords Dance set is really cool. And also, again, you know, even the Landorus, what's different about it being Assault Vest, so it's bulkier than the Safety Goggles set. People might think that it's Safety Goggles, so they still won't spore into it. So it's almost like you got a Safety Goggles on your Landorus if they know the team, and you never even have to have it on there, right? And you're also bulkier on the special defense side. And also, a lot of times they might be playing into you protecting, but you can't protect Landorus, right? Because you don't have it on there. And the Rock Slide tech also is like, you know, a surprise for that Landorus set. So we're not just stuck clicking, you know, Stumping Tantrum and U-Turn and not able to use Tera Blast when we don't have our Tera. The Detect didn't come too often on Iron Hands, but I do feel like it's going to be times where, you know, the Sitrus Berry and the Detect is very useful. And Iron Hands is a lot better into physical attackers with the Sitrus Berry and Detect rather than the Assault Vest being good into the special attackers, because Iron Hands still takes the same amount of damage as it always did from physical type attackers, but this just gives it that extra bulk to, you know, last longer. And when I had my practice games, my Iron Hands literally was able to 1v1, 1v3 a Chien-Pao or Urshifu and a Rillaboom just off my Sitrus Berry and Drain Punches, and being able to, you know, one-shot Urshifu with the Wild Charge, heal all the way back up from Drain Punch and Chien-Pao, and then just being able to Drain Punch and out, you know, duel the Rillaboom at the end, which is really clutch for this team. So everything works on this team. Like I say, also they might expect, you know, Amoonguss to be Sitrus Berry because that's the variant that is on the regular team. And now you're playing with Rocky Helmet, so now they're taking Rocky Helmet Chip. So I'm really proud of this team. This is one of the strongest teams I've made. And like I say, it is based off the 6 Pokemon that won Worlds, but this team is completely mine personally, because a lot of good players, what they do, they take a team that's common and they rework it to fit them, where they add or subtract certain Pokemon, but they keep the core the same. And or they take the same exact core and change the sets. And what I did was take the same exact core and just change the sets. And now, like, this team is like extremely strong on ladder. So there is a rental code up at the top right, as well as a Pokeplace down in the description below. You want to try this team out, go ahead and try it, and you'll have some fun. But that's gonna be it for this video. I will be back with another video for part 2 with this team, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. If you like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications, drop a comment below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Deuces.